are just doing a full body bar class today. So all you need is your mat, and you're gonna start standing. I'm gonna move my computer a tiny bit for you guys. We're gonna get in a little bit of a shorter session today, but we'll get everything worked out pretty well. So you're gonna start with your feet together. Hands can be up on the hips, just neutral, spine standing tall. We're gonna open the toes and then bring the toes back together. So you can't really see my feet, but you're turning the toes and knees out to either side of the room, and then just bringing the toes together from there. So that's happening from your hips initially. Toes and knees turn out with the hips externally rotating. All right, 2 more. Okay, keep that slight external rotation, so toes and knees are pointing out to either side of the room. Try to think about the hips turning out as well, and then the glutes are squeezing, the backs of the legs are wrapping together. You're gonna lift the heels, keeping them connected if you can, and lower. Heels lift, heels lower. So just little calf raises in that external rotation. Try to think of that energy reaching straight up to the ceiling, so everything's lifting in a long line just straight up. If you need to separate the heels as you come up, that's fine as well. It's pretty tough to keep them together, so you can always adjust if as needed. 2 more. Alright guys, and then turn the feet parallel, just hips width apart. So now your toes and knees are pointing straight forward. You have the feet about a fist distance apart from each other. And we're going to do one more set of calf raises like that, heels up and down. And just being careful with that balance. Good. Feel that the belly button's lifting in and up under the ribs on your exhale, so you're cinching your waist in. Keeping the breath moving with you. Good, 2 more. Okay, we're gonna keep the feet flat. So this time your arms can come out in front of the body, bend into the elbows, so they're in a little bit of a rounded position. We're just gonna bend into the knees, so kind of like a plie, but your feet are just parallel for now, and then coming right back up. We're not necessarily squatting, so in a squat you would pitch the torso forward. Try to just keep the weight kind of stacked, shoulders over the ribs, over the hips, over the ankles when you bend your knees. So everything's straight up and down. We're not pitching the torso forward at all. We're also not sitting the hips back. 2 more. Okay, and then turning into that Pilates V again, or first position, heels together, toes apart. Same concept, bending the knees, coming down into that plie, lifting right back up. So this time you're really finding more of that inner thigh connection, zipping up the inner thighs as you lift. Nice energy through the legs as you come up, lifting the quads up away from the knees. Good, last 4. Okay, halfway down, little pulses, couple inches up, couple inches down. So breathing through that movement, feel the control against gravity, against your body weight. So you're still, it should really feel like a challenge to be in this halfway down space. And then we're gonna lift again, standing tall. We'll step the feet out wide. And same thing, we're just coming down and up. So torso's upright, you're not pitched forward at all. Try to really be standing tall, natural curve in the back. Inhale down, exhale lift. Good, and then as you pick the pace up, you can start to regulate your breath. So just breathing however works for you. Big inhales, big exhales. They won't necessarily be connected to the down and up movement. But again, here we're tracking the toes, the knees towards the second and third toes, so that they're in line with the hips. Okay, last 2. And halfway down, little pulses. Keeping the breath moving with you. really try to squeeze into the hamstrings and the glutes right where they come together. And we're still keeping those abdominals turned on and working. So nice strong core, belly button pulls in and up under those ribs on your exhales. All right, go ahead and lift. We're gonna step the feet together. This time you're gonna step your left leg out to the left and then step in standing tall. So you're gonna come out into that wide second position plie, bend the knees, come back in, inner thigh zip up, step out, bend, lift and come together. So arms will open out every time you open the legs. Just getting that heart rate up a little bit. Finding that inner thigh connection every time we stand, standing really strong into that right leg. Okay, 3 more. Good, one more time, we'll step out and hold it. Check in with your feet, make sure everything's in line. We're gonna lift the left heel, pulse the hips up and down. So another set of those pulses. Make sure you're not pitched forward. You can bring the hands in front of the chest if that feels better. Reconnect to your breath. All right, guys, that heel comes down, opposite heel lifts. Keeping those abs turned on. All right, both heels down. Stand. You can heel tug the feet towards each other. So just walking those feet together again. And we're just gonna shift into the other side, wide second plie position. So you're gonna step the right leg out this time. Right leg out, deep bend into those knees, step back in. So you're zipping up those inner thighs as you bring the legs together. Knees are tracking towards the second and third toes when you come down into that plie. So kind of check in with where your knees are if you need to. We want to make sure they're in line with the hips and the toes. Squeezing into the back of that left leg to help you lift up. Inner thighs work to draw the legs together. Okay, step out and hold. One more set of those pulses. Last set of the pulses here. Keeping the breath moving with you. Hands together in front of the chest if that feels good. Okay, we're gonna skip the heel, lift it on this side. So you can just stand up to straight legs, take the hips side to side, shake that out a little bit. We're gonna come into your chair position here. So you'll bring feet and knees together. We're gonna sit the hips down and back. Pitch the torso forward this time. Bring the arms up by the ears so biceps are close to the ears. You're reaching the arms kind of up towards the ceiling and forward at a bit of an angle. We're gonna pulse the hips up and down. Big deep breaths. And our thighs are zipped up. You're cinching the waist in still. Relaxing the shoulders down the back. We're gonna hold it low here. Step your left leg back. Point the toes, bring the arms down and back as well so the palms are facing down towards the ground. We're gonna lift that left leg, tap the toes to the mat, lift and tap. So abs are lifted up into the back body still. You're keeping that back leg as straight as you can. You're squeezing into that hamstring and glute to help the leg lift. Last 4. Good. And then we're gonna draw the knee in towards the chest, bicep curl the arms. Inhale to lengthen the arm, lean back. Exhale, inhale. You can start to pick that pace up as long as your balance feels okay. Good for 4. Alright guys. Step the leg to the mat, reach the arms forward. We're gonna bring those arms down towards the ground. And then you can actually bring the hands all the way down. We're gonna step that back leg forward. Just shake the legs out a moment. Bending and straightening in each leg one at a time. Okay, and then we'll step the right foot or the left foot forward and send that left leg way back so that you're in a nice low lunge. Your back leg is straight. Your front leg, the knee over the ankle. Try to make sure that everything is in alignment there. And then from there, go ahead and bring the hands up onto the hips. You can readjust that back leg if you need, bringing your foot closer to the front leg. If you feel like you're too wide or too unstable. We're gonna have the head up, chest open, and now your front leg is straightening and bending. So you're just lengthening that left leg, bending into the knee to bring it right above the hip again. Good, just 2 more. All right, go ahead and turn through center. We're gonna turn all the way around to do the same exercises on the other side. So let's come into that lunge first. We'll just go backwards with this one. So you're bent into your front leg, torso's upright, back leg is as straight as you can get it. Front leg lengthens and bends. Tightening up all the muscles in that working front leg. Nice strong core. Alright guys, go ahead and pitch the torso forward. Alright, so working backwards. We're gonna reach those arms down, palms down towards the ground. Back leg is super straight, pointed toes. You're gonna pull the knee into the chest as you bicep curl the arms. And I am on the wrong leg, so just make sure you're on the right leg that you were not working last time. So it should be your left foot forward, your right leg extended back. Pull the knee into the chest, bicep curl those arms in. Lengthen the leg out, pointing the toes. Nice job, you guys. Good for 4. All right, and then reaching those arms up. And then we will come to hands down to the ground, that low lunge. So just readjusting. Okay, hold there for a moment, and then we'll come back up for that rear leg lift. So arms are reaching to the ceiling, biceps up by the ears. You're just lifting that back leg, squeezing through the glute and the hamstring. Good, nice strong core. All right, step that back foot forward. And bring the arms down, shake it out a little bit. We're gonna come down to seated. So carefully, if you're able to do it from standing, cross one foot over the other. Your arms can come out in front of you, overlapping the forearms. Carefully bend the knees, sit the hips back and down. And then we're all the way down to the ground. If you need to come down to seated any other way, go for it. So feet and knees are together, inner thighs are zipped up. Arms reach out to the wall in front of you, nice tall spine, big inhale. Tuck the tailbone under and start to round your spine down onto the mat beside you. So low back comes down to the mat first, then the mid back, then the upper back. Relax the arms into the mat on either side. Bring your feet closer to get towards you, so heels closer to the glutes. We're gonna come up into a bridge, so you'll tuck the tailbone under and roll the hips and spine up and off the mat, one bone at a time, and then roll back down nice and slow. Good, inhale, exhale, peeling the hips and spine up off the mat. So you're squeezing through the glutes and the hamstrings. Keeping the core engaged. Okay, on the next lift, we're going to hold it and circle through the waist. So the hips move to the left, down a few inches, to the right, up a few inches. So you're creating mobility through the waist and through the spine as we circle the hips around and the pelvis. All right, guys, go ahead and switch direction. Roll your spine down slow. Good. Again, you'll tuck under, come back up into that nice high bridge. Make sure you're balanced on your shoulder girdle, you're not arching your back. We're gonna lift that left leg up into tabletop, straighten it to the ceiling. Flex and point the foot a few times. You can also kind of roll through the ankle. And then we'll keep the toes pointed. We're gonna lower that leg to meet the right knee. Kick the leg up. Inhale, lowering the leg. Exhale. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale. Exhale, hold the leg lifted, little circles on the ceiling. So you're tightening up all the muscles in those legs. Super controlled movement here. Go ahead and switch direction with that circle. Try to keep those hips lifted and level. Last two. All right, guys, bend that knee, bring the foot back down gently. Roll your spine down slow. Take a breath. And then again, we're gonna reset into that bridge for the other leg. So inhale, tuck the tailbone under. Exhale, peel the hips and spine up off the mat. Bring that right leg up into tabletop. Extend the leg to the ceiling. You're gonna flex and point the leg a few times. Good, you can roll through the ankle a little bit. All right, so toes will be pointed, hips are lifted. Lowering that leg down to where that left knee is and kicking the leg up as you exhale. And then holding the lift, make sure those hips stayed level. Little circles through that hip. Switching direction. Standing really strong into your arms and that left foot. And then gently bending that knee, bringing the foot back down to the mat. Roll the spine down slow. Good, you guys are gonna bring the feet into first position, heels together, toes apart, a Pilates V. We're gonna inhale, tuck the tailbone under. Exhale, peel the hips and spine up off the mat. You're gonna lift the heels this time so that they're lifted off the ground and they're connected. So heels together still, toes apart. You're gonna bring the knees together, zip up the inner thighs, open the knees wide. Knees together, knees wide. So you're finding an inner thigh connection, and then you're getting outer glute, outer thigh, hip as well as you open the knees. Okay, hold the knees wide, pulse the hips up and down, couple inches, breathing through that movement. And then go ahead and separate your heels so your legs are parallel, lower the heels, roll your spine down slow. You can give the knees a big hug into your chest, rock the back out side to side. You can even circle through the low back with the hands on tops of the knees, just to kind of massage the low back out. Give it a rest. All right, big inhale. Nod the chin towards the chest. Exhale, curl the chest up over the rib cage. Hold that small crunch. We're gonna take both legs straight up to the ceiling, 90-degree angle. Flex the feet. Lower the right leg towards the ground, and you'll help use your arms to help you curl up a little bit higher, pulling that left leg in towards the chest. And then we're gonna switch the legs out. Left leg down, right leg up, and switch, and switch. So it's an inhale for one leg and an exhale for the other. So try to make sure that you have that full breath moving with you. It's not a very quick movement, but you could always pick up pace if you want. Try to make sure that belly button is pulling into the back body. You're stretching the hamstrings out and using those low abs to help you pull the leg closer to you. All right, guys. Both knees back in, relax down. We're gonna bring the feet flat onto the mat again. Make sure you're in that natural curve in the back, tailbone heavy, so neutral spine. Reach the arms up to the ceiling, palms face forward. We're just gonna practice our chest lifts. So inhale, nod the chin towards the chest. Exhale, curl the chest up over the rib cage. Bring the arms down alongside the body next to your hips. Pull that belly button in and up under the ribs. And again, lowering down, upper back, the head, the arms come back. Inhale, nod the chin towards the chest. Exhale, curl up over the rib cage, using the upper abdominals to help with that lift. We'll bring the hands back behind the head, wide elbows, and we're going to keep going with the hands behind the head, so gently lowering the upper back and the head. Inhale, chin towards chest. Exhale, curling up. Holding the lift, belly button pulls into the back body, lowering back down. 2 more, inhale, exhale, curl, inhale down, exhale, 1 more lift, inhale, exhale, curling up, good, hold the lift at the top. We're gonna rotate to the left, opening the chest to the left side of the room. Inhale back to center. Exhale, rotate right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Good. All right, last one each side. Nice, you guys go ahead and come back down to center, relax. You can relax the arms on the mat on either side of you and just turn your head side to side. All right, and then give the knees a big hug into the chest. Go ahead and rock yourself up to seated. So you're just gonna bring the chin towards the chest and rock yourself back and forth a few times so you can come up comfortably like that. We are going into an all fours position next. So hands and knees. So hands right underneath the shoulders. Knees right underneath the hips. You guys are gonna tuck the toes under so the balls of the feet are on the mat. The abs lift up into the back body. You're lifting the knees off the mat an inch or two, and then little pulses. So staying very low, very close to the ground. Knees move up and down. Using the low abdominals to help with that movement. Breathing through. Making sure you're looking in front of your hands on the mat rather than towards your knees, so the back of the neck is long. And then from here, we're gonna lift the hips up and back into your downward dog. Straight arms, drop the head down in between the arms. The hips are back towards the heels. We're gonna let that right heel lift, left heel drop, and then switch heels. So we're stretching the calves and the hamstrings out as one heel lifts, opposite heel drops towards the mat. Bending one knee, straightening the opposite leg. ahead and shift your weight forward one more time. You're now in a nice, strong, high plank. One long line from the crown of the head back to the heels. Hips aren't too low, so we're not arching our back or dropping our thighs. Make sure those hips and thighs are lifted. Hips are gonna tilt side to side, so the pelvis tipping to the left and to the right, cinching the waist in. Big deep breath, shoulders down the back. Nice strong core. Alright guys, finding center, gently bring the knees down. Separate the knees a little bit. You can set the hips back towards the heels. So you find kind of a child's pose. Take a breath. And then coming back up into that all fours position. So we are going to take that right leg out to the right. You're going to keep the 90-degree angle in the leg and keep the toes pointed. So get yourself centered first, draw the shoulders down the back, make sure your spine is neutral. We're gonna lift that right leg out to the side and back down. You don't have to bring it all the way underneath the hip when you bring the leg down again. You're just kind of tapping the knee to the mat, but you're lifting the knee and the foot equally away from the body. For 3. One more. Okay. And now we're just going to reach that right arm forward and take the right arm out to the right and forward. Out to the right, forward. So ideally we're keeping the arm lifted, shoulder height. We're doing our best to keep equal weight on each side of the body. 2 more. Okay, gently bringing that hand back down underneath the shoulder. Take a quick cat-cow, rounding and releasing the spine. So tailbone up, belly down, head up, chest open. Exhale to round, tuck the tailbone under, scoop the abs. Inhale, release. Exhale, round. Come to that flat back again. You're lifting the left leg this time directly out to the side. So reset whatever you need to. Toes are pointed. Keep the 90-degree angle in that leg. You're hinging through the hip to lift the knee away from the body. Gently bringing the knee back down, and then that left arm forward. I'm going to adjust a little bit so I have space, but you want to be able to take that arm all the way out to the side of the room. Gently bringing that hand back down. One more child's pose, you guys, knees apart, sit the hips back towards the heels, relax the head down so you can reach the arms a little bit further forward. Take a breath. One more inhale, into the back. And exhale. Alright, and then you guys can walk the hands back towards the knees. Come up into a tall kneeling position. So the knees are right underneath the hips. Your torso is upright. You have that long line from the head to the knees. Scoop the abs in a little bit. You can kind of tuck the tailbone so that it's pointed down towards the ground a little bit more. You're going to reach both arms out in front of you. So long arms. Inhale, hinge through the knees to take the whole body back a few inches. And then forward as you exhale. Inhale back. Exhale. One more through center. We're gonna add a rotation. So you'll pull the right elbow back, you'll twist to the right as you lean back. Exhale, come forward, reaching through center. Left elbow pulls back, rotate. Exhale. Inhale, right elbow. Exhale, back to center. So each time you're rotating, just try to cinch the waist in as much as you can. One more each side. Good, you can bring the arms down. You can rotate side to side a little bit here, let that low back kind of stretch out a bit. We're gonna come to seated again so that the legs are in front of you and the hands are back behind you. So the hands are gonna be on the mat right underneath the shoulders. And then we'll go into some tricep dips from here. So you're gonna lift the hips up so that you're kind of in a tabletop position. So take an inhale, exhale, squeeze through the backs of the legs to lift. You're tucking the tailbone under and you want the hips to end up lifted here. We're gonna bend the elbows so they point straight back to the wall behind us, and then straighten the arms. So breathing through the movement here, firming up the triceps. Good for 4. All right, lift the right leg or the left leg if you can, tabletop, and then little pulses through those arms. Okay, go ahead and straighten the arms, bring that foot down, and then gently lifting the other leg, halfway down, little pulses. Okay, and then straight arms. Gently lower the hips. You can scoot the hips back. We're gonna straighten the legs out in front of us. For a moment, you can just flex the feet, push your torso forward, or fold the torso forward over the legs. Let the back stretch out, and letting those hamstrings stretch out. All right, so nice tall spine, sitting as tall as you can again, back to upright. Hands are on either side of you just to help you reinforce that tall posture. We're gonna point through the left foot toes, lift the left leg an inch or 2 off the mat. It's a very small movement, so you probably won't even be able to see my leg move that much. Really small. You're tightening up all the muscles in that leg. It's a lot of core work as well, so you might feel like your low back shaking a little bit. That's because it's part of your core. All of those, the abdominals and the core muscles that wrap around the torso. So everything's going to be working. Try to really engage into those low abdominals. Make sure that you're not rounding your spine. We're not lifting and leaning back like this, but you're staying tall the whole time. So only as high of a lift as you can go without changing shape in your back or in your spine, because it's really easy to allow that low back to come into a rounded position. Okay, go ahead and switch the legs out. So the foot you were just working, that foot is flexed now. Sit up a little bit taller. Point the toes of that right leg foot. Little lift, little lower. Breathing into that. Okay, last 4. Flex the feet, fold forward, stretch those legs out one more time. All right, we're gonna bring the legs back behind us. We're gonna do a set of push-ups. So hands and knees again. You can be in full plank here, or you can be in modified, which is where I'll be today. So knees down, hips forward, the feet are lifted, hands and elbows are gonna be wide on this set. So as you lower the chest, elbows point out to either side of the room. Inhale. Exhale, pushing away. Okay. So nice strong core. Shoulders down the back. Back of the neck is long, so I'm not looking towards my knees. I'm looking out in front of my hands, towards that front end of the mat. Two more. And then feet come down. You can set the hips back towards the heels. All right, we're gonna come up into another downward dog for a moment here. So you can tuck the toes under, lift the hips, lift the knees, back and down, the heels down, the legs long. Just little prances there for a moment. You can lift and lower one heel at a time. And then we're gonna have the heels lifted. You'll bend into both knees at the same time and then lengthen the legs. So deep bend into the knees, inhale, legs long, exhale. All right, shift your weight into your high plank, gently bring the knees down. We're gonna come down onto the forearms this time. So elbows are underneath the shoulders. Extend one leg back, coming into a plank again, but on our forearms. So we're a little bit closer to the ground. Abs are lifted up into the back body. We're gonna shift the weight forward a few inches and back a few inches. Hinging through the shoulders and the ankles. So your heels and your shoulders are reaching forward at the same time and reaching back at the same time. One more. Good, bring the knees down. Come down onto your stomach carefully. So now we're gonna do a little swan, some back extension. We're gonna have the hands right underneath the shoulders. So you can point your elbows straight back to the wall behind you. And then just readjust a little bit. Make sure your abs are lifted up into your back body. Your tailbone is tucked under, pointing towards the wall behind you. And the legs are down but active. We're gonna inhale, lift the eyes up first. Lift the chest away from the ground. Exhale, use your arms to help you come up a little bit higher. As much as feels okay on your back, drawing the shoulders down the back. And then bring the belly down to the mat first, the chest down, the head down. Couple more, inhale, eyes up. Exhale, chest lifts. Make sure those abs are pulled up into the back body. Push up a little bit higher with your arms. Roll down slow. Two more. Make sure those shoulders are down your back. You're not coming up so high that your shoulders are lifting up towards your ears. So it's not about getting the arms straight at the top. It's about lifting as high as you're able to, keeping everything in form, making sure you're not in any pain and the abs are still connected to the back body. All right, guys, we're gonna do some swimming. So reach the arms forward, lift the whole body a few inches away from the ground. So arms, chest, and legs are lifted. And then we're fluttering the arms and legs. Big deep breaths. Reaching through the fingertips, through the toes. Alright guys, go ahead and rest down for a moment. So one ear to the mat. Big inhale, big exhale. You're going to carefully come up into a side plank. So push the hips back. You're going to turn towards me so that one forearm, elbows underneath the shoulder. So whichever side you want to start on is fine. I like to have my feet staggered, top foot forward, bottom foot back. You could have your feet stacked. Whatever feels okay for you. You're going to lift the hips. So the hips and that lower side body are away from the mat. We're going to lift that top arm up to the ceiling. Just holding it, big deep breaths. Tightening up all the muscles in the legs, cinching the waist in. And then you can pulse the hips up and down for more work. Little pulses. Okay, gently lowering the hips. Carefully we'll switch sides. So bring yourself all the way up. And we'll just swing the legs to the opposite side. And then feet are staggered. When you're ready, you're gonna lift the hips. Reach that top arm up to the ceiling. Just holding it at first. So big deep breaths, nice long neck. And then more work. Little lift and lower. Cinching the waist in. Alright guys, gently lower the hips. We're gonna carefully come to upright to seated. We're just going into like a side stretch before we stretch the legs out. So you're going to have that left heel connected to the, or close to the left glute. That leg is bent off to the left. Your right leg is bent in front of you. Bring the left hand to the mat, reach your right arm up and over. Nice big side stretch, reaching to that left side of the room, keeping the left hip heavy, or the right hip heavy on the mat. And then go ahead and switch sides. So you're gonna be reaching the other way. All right, we're just gonna do one more stretch to the other side to switch the legs out. Same thing, the right hand to the right side, reach the left arm up and over. And then same thing to the other side. All right, you guys can bring the feet forward, bring your left ankle up and across your right thigh, and you're just stretching your hip and glute out here. So letting the hip and the glute release a little bit, breathing through that movement. And then go ahead and switch the legs out. All right, you guys are all set. Awesome job today. Thanks for coming.